Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. only on Bloomberg Quint.
Welcome to Bloomberg Quint. This is a market wrap. I am Agam Akil, and what a day it's turned out to be for the benchmark indices, shrugging off all the pain globally and eventually closing the day with gains, with the Nifty advancing by as much as 66 points and closing near day's highs. We've seen a bulk of these gains coming in from Adani Ports, Z Entertainment, Bharti Airtel and Bajaj Finserv, and a lot of strength on the back of something like an HDFC and an HDFC Bank, which are the relatively heavier weighted ones, which is why we've seen the Nifty higher by as much as 0.6%. On the losing end, Sun Pharma down 2.5%, followed by Yes Bank, TCS, Tata Motors and ONGC also declining trade, but also recovering substantially from day's lows. In the broader markets, when it comes to the Nifty 500, what we see is one gainer for one loser, and this, of course, the advanced decline ratio has improved in the last 1 hour of trade after we saw the markets remain consistently in the green. Brigade Enterprises advancing by around 13.9%. We spoke to the management, but the management has suggested robust growth outlook coming through. Jet Airways, GET&D, IL&FS Transportation, which had lost out yesterday, or rather on the session of Monday, while making a recovery and closing an upper circuit of 5%. Canfin Homes, Adani Ports, Siemens, as well as Bandhan Bank all advancing in trade. On the losing end, weakness persists in Symphony. Navkar Corp and 8K Miles Software also among the losers. A surprising name popping up here is 3M India, Mass Financial Services and New India Assurance among many others, which are also losing out in trade. But let's get in our markets editor to give us his perspective on the markets and how things have panned out. Neeraj, a surprising recovery in the last few hours.
Yeah, and I think goes back to the point that people make, that don't try and predict the markets. Mr. Market knows what it does best.
Yeah.
You and I can't. So yeah, very interesting moves today. Maybe ahead of expiry. Maybe you've seen something in the FNO space as well. Yeah. Maybe some short covering, etc. that could have happened ahead. But yeah, interesting day of trade. I think it just goes back to a couple of things that people have been saying, that maybe go out and look out at companies wherein the valuation decimation has been strong, the earnings decimation hasn't been, and just try and stick to buying into those, because Mr. Market is proving to be a tough animal to predict right now.
Right.
And Indian markets more so as well, because this morning we put out that stat as well, that if the S&P 500 is down about 19%, and maybe the S&P 500 was oversold and that bounce back at support levels leads people to buy into India as well. But S&P 500 down 19% from the peak. From the peak, Shanghai is down about 29%. Nikkei from the peak is down about 21%.
Yeah.
Nifty just about 9%.
Right.
So very interesting moves thus far. Let's see how long this goes. But I think tomorrow's session would well be dominated by the FNO expiry. Those positions probably more critical.
Well, again, no one is willing to take a bet towards the long or the short side, considering how indices across the world are. But we'll have to wait and watch, Neeraj, on that one. But Neeraj, thank you for joining us and getting us that perspective here. But what about the technical levels there, and what can we watch out for as we move into expiry tomorrow? This is what our technical analysts are saying. Listen in.
After that sharp 1,000 points move from 10,000 lows, I think the markets are likely to consolidate its gains. For a medium-term perspective, I think 10,550 would be the lower benchmark that we're looking at. But eventually, post this consolidation, we expect this breakout to happen on the upside, and we do maintain a medium-term upside target of 11,400.
If you look at the Nifty chart, daily chart, we've seen a false breakout happening on 19th of December, when the earlier peak that was made on 3rd of December of 10,941, that was taken out. And then we saw a sharp correction in Nifty, and today Nifty, in spite of opening low and going lower, but managed to pull back. That's been, I would say, that's remarkable. So clearly reflecting that there is consolidation, and also there's buying interest which is coming in, and also short covering is happening around 10,500, 550 levels. So that clearly is there, that the market is showing signs of resilience in spite of the sell-off which we witnessed in the global markets.
Right then, let's shift focus to stocks, and the first one on our list is Brigade Enterprises, which has had quite a stellar day of trade today, considering it advanced by nearly 14% in trade. And for that, we have Yash Upadhyay, who's joining us to give us an update on what's led the rally here. Yash?
Actually, Agam, at one point it had gained more than 14%, and this is on the back of that Motilal Oswal report wherein they have initiated coverage. Now they have assigned a buy rating and have set a target price of 282 rupees, which indicates a potential upside in excess of 30% even after this move, as they believe that the company has been predominantly a strong player in the real estate residential space business, and now they are increasing their focus in the leasing and hospitality business with plans to add approximately 4 million square feet of leasable land to its portfolio over the next 5 years. We caught up with the management, and in a rather candid conversation, they believe that they would be able to outpace the growth that the report is mentioning. Right. So it talks about a 13% growth, but they are hopeful of doing more than that, close to 15 to 20%. Is why we are seeing that big uptick in the stock today.
Absolutely. Yash, thank you for joining us and getting us those details. There you have it, a lot of strength for Brigade Enterprises. But moving on to two other stocks which are, or rather a handful of stocks which are buzzing in trade. We have Sharad Dubey, who's joining us to give us that list. Sharad?
Yes, Agam. The first stock I picked up is Shree Cement, actually. So basically the stock was up by almost 2%, its highest level seen in almost 3 odd trading sessions. So basically this news had come that the company has fully commissioned its integrated cement plant in Gulbarga, Karnataka. The plant is having a capacity of around 3 million tons per annum, and apart from this, even the clinker section has also been commissioned, making this plant totally commissioned. The second stock which I have picked up is Nagarjuna Fertilizers, which rose as high as 13% in the day, if you can focus on the chart, and it has ended at around 10% today. This is based on the news that the company is in the process of settling its long-term debt resolution with its lenders, and apart from that, it will also start its production in urea in its Unit 1 of Kakinada plant. The third stock, which is definitely Heritage Foods, which was up by almost 2%, its highest level seen in almost a week. This comes back on the news that the Indian government is going to extend the ban of import of milk and milk products from China. So the extension of ban will be around 4 months, and since this stock is actually supplying a lot in the domestic market of milk and milk beverages, so it will be sounding good for the company as well.
Right.
So these three stocks are the Agam.
Right. Well, Sharad, thank you for joining us and taking us through those stocks as well. So lots of action happening in the mid-cap space too, and it was, well, as we've already discussed, a considerably surprising day and a positive day to add to that. But with that, it's a wrap on the markets. But lots more lined up, so stay tuned to Bloomberg.